Hey, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Brando again. Thought I would do another reloading video. A lot of people who reload kind of take things for granted sometimes, and we forget some of the simple stuff. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about today is cleaning your cases using a case tumbler, and really what that is all about. So another thing that I kind of wanted to do today too was I figured every time I do a video I would kind of show you which gun that I'm carrying that day, and I figured I'd start off with this video here. So today on my hip just so happens to be the 41 Magnum, just to let you guys know. Alright, I'll be carrying that today. I'm going to a musical of all things tonight, and we'll probably change this out, but as of right now it's the 41 Magnum. Going to the musical, I'll probably switch either to the Kel-Tec PF9 or the Kel-Tec P3AT. Those will probably be one of the two that I carry, depending on what I wear tonight to the musical. And don't make fun of me for going to a musical. You know, they're fun. Get a good thing to go out with the wife and that sort of thing. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So with that being said, let's take a look at cleaning your brass. So really and truly, as far as a reloader is concerned, this is basically one of the first things that we do is clean the brass that we have. As you can see here, I got a few things on the table. Let me move this back out. It actually looks better a little bit back. I have, number one, I have a coffee can full of 9mm dirty brass. Now it's not full, but there's some in there just for demonstration purposes. And basically, if I grab a few of these out and you guys take a look at it, I mean, this is just basically just dirty brass that you would get after you went to a range session. Well, what we want to do is we want to clean it, okay? And we got a couple of different things here that we can do that with. The first reloading equipment that I bought when I first started reloading was a case tumbler. I couldn't afford to buy a kit and do a bunch of stuff. And be quite honest, when you buy a kit, you can't really take case tumbler or some sort of cleaning facility does not even come with it. So you have to, and if you're going to reload used brass, then you got to have a way to clean it. Okay. So what I did is I bought this Hornady case tumbler. There are several manufacturers out there. The three that at the local Bass Pro Shop where I bought this one, of course, included the Hornady, the RCBS, and the Lyman. And the Lyman actually had a few of them. And I went online. I'm pretty obsessive about going through and finding reviews and stuff like that of this sort of thing. And you know, I went online and I don't know. I kind of like Hornady, so I just started sticking with Hornady. And you see in my other videos, I have a lot of Hornady equipment. So kind of a Hornady fan in that regard. So basically, how does this work? You know, I got a couple of different things here. Really, what a case tumbler does is it acts as a very large rock tumbler. If anybody ever did like the rock tumbling and shined up your rocks and stuff like that as a kid, that's basically all this does. You can do that using a couple different things as far as a media is concerned. And you can see on the table that I have a Lyman Turbo Tumbler media, which is actually corn cob. And what you do, I'm just going to take the camera off the tripod here. What you do is you pour this media into your case tumbler, and then you basically put your brass inside the case tumbler as well. Now, I'm not going to put them all in there, but I'll put a few of them in here to kind of show you. Oh, what the heck, let's just pour everything that I have in there just like this. These case tumblers should be able to hold a lot of rounds. This happens to be 9mm brass that I'm working with, and that's kind of hard to do one-handed, so I apologize. And you can kind of see how it all stays there. And I have been reloading, well, now I don't reload every day now, guys, but I've been reloading with this media in this tumbler for about, I don't know, 8-9 months. Okay, it is dirty. Okay, I don't care that it's dirty so much. I can replace it. I just haven't done so. And I got what's left here, and you can see out of a year's time frame, this is how much that I've used. So not a whole lot, which is good for me because I don't want to spend the money. The other thing that I use is this Turbo Bright This is also by Lyman, and what you do is you basically just take this, let me do it with one hand here, and you just pour just a little bit, well, just to give you a taste here, you're supposed to pour a little bit of this into the media and turn on the tumbler for about 2 minutes, let it soak into the media, and then put your brass in and then tumble. What happens is if you don't do that, you'll have some of that bright stuff kind of clunk inside your cases and stuff like that, and that's not necessarily a good thing there. So let you know how this thing kind of works. There's a switch, and where did we find my switch here? Sorry, moving the camera all around here. Oh yeah, the switch is actually on the cable, which is right there. So I'll turn this on. And you can kind of see how this works. And basically what you do is you put all this in there and you leave it alone and you let it run, I don't know, 1.5 hours, 2 hours. The longer you leave it in there, the cleaner your brass will be. Okay? And you can see some of the brass tumbling in there now, and it just goes, if you look at the way this thing is shaped, it will just basically go around and around and around and around until it's clean. And the media basically takes the and it brushes against it, you know, the case, and brushes against it, and it's kind of an abrasion. And there's different types of media out there. There's corn cob, there's like hickory nut or walnut, or I don't know, there's a bunch of different ones out there that you can use. So let me turn this off because the noise is popping. Okay, so once you have your rounds in there, basically what you want to do is you basically just want to put your top back on and just go ahead and tighten that down. And then, like I said, let it run for about 2 hours or so. You know, what I usually do is if I'm going to do some rounds or something like that, I basically just put them in, you know, at lunchtime or something like that, and then the afternoon when I'm off work or something like that, it's done. Or maybe before I go to work in the morning, throw some in. I've let it run 8, 9, 10 hours before, and it's not a big deal. So basically, once you go through and let it run for a while, then you have some nice, clean, shiny brass. And that's the whole idea of this thing. And we can pull them out individually, but if you dump a whole bunch in there, what you got to do is you take this little sifting thing, and you can actually take this bowl off of the machining, okay, or the motor, I guess is what you call it, and you can turn it upside down and sift all that media into another bucket, and then basically what you're left with is a bunch of brass. It still has a lot of corn cob around, and you can actually see my table, there's like media, you know, all over the place, and there's media even inside the casing, okay. That happens. It's not a big deal, it's kind of a messy thing to clean the brass, but once it's done, it's done. One last comment on this particular procedure is to make sure that you basically stick with one caliber. Don't try to mix, like for an example, 45 ACP and 9mm, because the corncob media that gets stuck in here will bind together with like a 45, because this can fit inside a 45 shell and you won't be able to get it out, and it won't clean the 9mm one. So word of advice, just go ahead and stick with one single caliber as you go forth when you do your reloading, or excuse me, your case trimming. So you know, that's the tumbler, and this happens to be the Hornady tumbler. If you can see that right there. So they're about, you know, anywhere from 50 to 80 bucks depending on the brand that you buy. And hope this has been helpful. Maybe I'll do step-by-step videos on different things in the reloading process. Maybe the next thing I'll do is the case trimmer and what we use the case trimmer for. So that may be a good video just to show people how that works. So until next time, this is BrandoMcWilli. Everybody have a good day. Take care.